Say, man, you know what it is, man. Yeah, I got my nigga K. What you gotta say to these niggas? Yeah, real shit, real life. Here we go. Hey, I feel like Cross. I'm a motherfucking boss. I got the drip, and you know I got the sauce. I tell these fuck ass niggas get lost. Coming through your chimney like I'm goddamn Santa Claus. Hey, 2023, and you know I rock my chain. Nigga, boy, I'm grown, I ain't tryna play no games. Doing what we want, and we doing what we claim. It's crazy how they pussy niggas selling out for fame. Like, look at my neck, look at my worth, nigga. I'ma shine so hard, make it hurt, nigga. Been the way that I am since birth, nigga. Tabernacle in the stream with a church, nigga. I'm chosen, I'm chosen. I be in front of the camera posing. You see that choker on my neck and it's frozen. Hey, yeah, I'm chosen. I am not stressed. I passed the test. Look at my name. Look at my team. You know we gon' win. You know we gon' win. Until the end. You know what I get, Stone C, like my name is Smith. Niggas talking, but I know he ain't shit. Niggas talking, but I know he ain't shit. Run up on me, I'ma make you do flips. Do a backflip. Niggas ain't cap like an actress. Auto for when niggas doing magic. Pull up on your mama and it's tragic. Damn. Woo, 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 hey, woo, 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 hey, yeah. Watch, but you can't buy time. Every day I wake up, I'm on my grind. All that bullshit ain't on my mind. Don't need your help, my nigga, I'm fine. I'm real. Yeah. Hey, riding in my whip and I be changing the lane. Got my OG saying I be staying in their brain. Cause I'm going so dumb and I hopped in the game. Everything that I got came from excessive pain. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm with Cross, and you know we going live. Got Kane on my right, he by my side. Keep it square, and so you know that's how we die. Hey, man, say, man, you know what it is, man. Yeah, I got my nigga K. What you gotta say to these niggas? Yeah, real shit, real life. Here we go. Hey, I feel like Cross. I'm a motherfucking boss. I got the drip, and you know I got the sauce. I tell these fuck ass niggas get lost. Coming through your chimney like I'm goddamn Santa Claus. Hey, 2023, and you know I rock my chain. Nigga, boy, I'm grown, I ain't tryna play no games. Doing what we want, and we doing what we claim. It's crazy how they pussy niggas selling out for fame. Like, look at my neck, look at my worth, nigga. I'ma shine so hard, make it hurt, nigga. Been the way that I am since birth, nigga. Tabernacle in the stream with a church, nigga. I'm chosen, I'm chosen. I be in front of the camera posing. You see that choker on my neck and it's frozen. Hey, yeah, I'm chosen. I am not stressed. I passed the test. Look at my until the end. You know what I get, Stone. My name is but no he ain't shit. Niggas talking, but I know he ain't shit. Run up on me, I'ma make you do flips. Do a bad like an actress. Auto for when niggas doing magic. Pull up on your mama. Time. Every day I wake up, I'm on my grind. All that bullshit ain't on my mind. Don't need your help, my nigga, I'm fine. I'm real. Yeah. Riding in my way. driving, I be changing lane. Got my OG saying I be staying in their brain. Cause I'm going so dumb and I hopped in the game. Everything that I got came from excessive pain. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm a cross, and you know we going live. Got Kane on my right, he by my side. Keep it square in and shit, you know that's how we go.
Salute, salute, salute. We back at it like crack addicts, man. It's your boy Cross, man. Big CEO of Cross Your Heart, man. I appreciate everybody coming in here, rocking with your boy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a great build today. Salute to the people that's been rocking with me since day one. I truly appreciate y'all. The ones that's been holding me down. The ones that's loving the content that I'm bringing. I'm loving the comments. I'm loving the people that's been shooting me messages, letting me know like, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. Keep keeping your foot on their neck and bringing some awareness. So I just want to say salute to the ones that have been telling me that. I appreciate y'all on that. This one right here, we got one, and we're going to build not too long, but a little bit. It depends on what people want to talk about. But this is one right here where I want to go back in history again in the 1900s, right? We talked about the 1800s, mid 1800s, how people was doing. But then we got to remember, there is also the flip coin, right? It's a darker side to the whole 1900s as well. We know that it's slavery. We know that the Darwin theory was in the play. We know that they were trying to get together these St. Louis. So what it was is that this one rich guy was trying to bring a fair to St. Louis. But on top of that, they wanted to start this where they were jotting down and they were doing information. As far as they had people like Sarah Bartman and those people back then, the first black woman that they looked at and looked at her like she was crazy because of how her butt and how her front, her breasts and things looked. So that, I mean, she was like a freak show to them. So there was also another group that actually came to the U.S. that they put in there, and they didn't want to come. It wasn't that they wanted to come and they was looking for freedom. They was okay. And that's the over in the Philippines, the Filipinos, right? So basically, they were forced to come over here to join that St. Louis, the St. Louis Fair, right? And they actually had like almost 136 buildings. They brought in more money than anybody, and they exploited these people and had them like they would throw food, change, bananas. I mean, just all types of weird stuff that they would do at this fair. So I'm just going to shine a light on the 1904 St. Louis Fair where they actually sat around and this is what they did. They did this, and I'm going to black out. Salute. I know people be coming in here. I appreciate everybody coming in here again. Just want to bring awareness to everybody. Y'all hit that like button. The people that's going to start coming in here building, I appreciate y'all coming in here again. And we're going to run it back again. But I just want to start that off by saying this is going to take place in the 1900s. Y'all see the title. You know what I'm saying? So salute to everybody coming in here. Let's go.
Is exactly what it sounds like. A public display of humans within an enclosed fence or cage, similar to how animals are exhibited in zoos today. In 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair in Missouri presented such an exhibit, showcasing thousands of indigenous people around the world, from African pygmies to the Ainu people of Japan. But by far, the largest and most popular exhibit in the fair was the Philippine Exposition, which took up a 47-acre area in the zoo and housed the 1,200 Filipino captives. Most of them were Igorots, indigenous Filipinos that live in the mountains of northern Luzon. But there were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And together, the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair, second only to the fair itself, and considered even better than a trip to the Philippines at that time. The enclosure of the Igorots was such a huge attraction of the fair that it surpassed the revenue of all the other exhibits that were featured in the human zoo combined, as the Igorots' striking appearance and customs captured the imagination of the fair's audience. They gawked, laughed, and even threw objects at the natives, who were marketed as headhunting, dog-eating savages. And although there was some truth in that assertion, the way that the fair presented the customs of the Igorots was largely sensationalized and misrepresented. While they were there, the native Filipinos were forced to kill and eat dogs every single day for 7 months straight, when usually this was only done in their culture for rare and ceremonial occasions. Other sacred rituals, such as chief crowning and weddings between people who had no intention of getting married, were also orchestrated daily, simply for the entertainment and delight of the audience. All these things, combined with terrible living conditions, foreign diseases, and the deaths of the less fortunate captives, caused great mental and emotional suffering for the victims of the human zoo. And even after the World's Fair ended, the Igorots continued to be showcased in other fairs and carnivals throughout America and beyond. The main motivation for this dark episode in our history is, of course, racism. The offensive notion that us humans are divided into races that distinguish us as inferior or superior to each other. The organizers of the zoo wanted to propagate this belief that the indigenous people they were showcasing were lower stages of the human race, and that the Igorots were the lowest on the evolutionary scale. Political motivations also contributed in pushing for these racist ideologies. Because the Philippines was a newly acquired territory of America, the US government wanted to present Filipinos as savage and barbaric to American citizens in order to gain support for subjugating and governing the island country. It wasn't until 1914 that human zoos showcasing Filipinos were finally banned in the United States after countless protests against them.
So there y'all go, man. I'm gonna bring in and again, this is just the build off. Again, the way they did the Philippines back then, they continue to have them in there. I mean, shows went to Seattle, went to Madrid, they went to all these different places, and they showcased these people. They had them break their tradition. They had them marry each other, to go through the whole tradition of marrying each other just for the sake of people coming in and looking at the fair. Yeah, it don't cost a thing. Thank you. I appreciate it, King. But yeah, this is crazy, man. When you see that basically in dark color people are looked down upon. That's right. Based off of Darwin's theory. But they tried to say that those people were the lowest of the low. Which, how is that? You know what I'm saying? Because we all know Darwin was crazy anyway. You know what I'm saying? Based off of that notion about the skulls and tried to do that. Y'all get a chance, y'all look up Sarah Bartman, and I'm going to do something on her too. The way they treated that woman was completely inhumane. The first black woman that was in the carnival show and was looked at as a freak. All the way to the point where they kept her private parts in a museum, in a university, in her head, because they said it was a phenomenon that she was closest thing to orangutan. Like, people don't understand. These are the things, or these weird dudes that was all at that time savages in their own right. You know what I'm saying? And then just the play off of these people right here. They had no intent. They had no intentions of wanting to come here to be in the zoo. They were forced to be coming in here. Darwin's like, I think a syrup, but another, yeah, exactly. The way he really was, really what he was doing was they were trying to rewrite history, and they were going over there. And that's why he put together and had this one guy to go over there to deal with a lot of the pygmies and all them, to go over there and bring these people back over and tell them that there was a better place to come over here, and literally brought them and put them in a zoo. Yeah, they experiment. Yeah, and this is what they experiment. They experiment on other cultures, and they brought them. But instead, while they did that, they built money up and then used them as freaks. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't understand their culture. So to them, their culture was something, a phenomenon, just because, one, they didn't want to learn a language like they do nowadays, that we don't want to learn the language. So to them, a lot of other cultures are still a phenomenon. Salute the people coming in here. Appreciate you coming in here. Y'all hit that like button coming in here. We're just really, I dropped that link. You know what I'm saying? Kitty, so you come on here and build if you want to, but we're talking again. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad, man, that we are looked upon like that. And in its history, see, these are the things that are actually documented. If you really want to be honest, the documentation of stuff. The document ain't what they tell us. It's really, these are things that are documented. 130 people in here. There you go. Let's go, y'all. We just getting started. We're just getting started. I want everybody. Yeah, I'm getting up. Yeah, no, you good, King. You got that link. So what we're going to do is Why Kennedy on here building again? Was this the part of the zoo in the 1900s? And not only was this the biggest part in 1904 in St. Louis, it actually was the biggest attraction. Think about it, 130 buildings, that it was bigger. It was the most biggest attraction. Yeah, this is real deep, man. It's no problem. This is real deep, and I told you we was gonna go there, man. But yeah, man, it's just really unfortunate that you would do people like that, and then when you turn around and look at it, you turn those people later on in life to hate other cultures. But you was the one that actually did that to them people. You see what I'm saying? It's always the one that create the problem, but ain't the one in problem. And they always create the problem, always not the one that's in the problem. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just really unfortunate that these people were treated like that. I mean, they said it was better to go to listeners, it was better to go to St. Louis Zoo to get a better culture than it would be to go to their country. That's how they played it. Salute, Mr. Smith. We just sitting here building, like I told you, Mr. Smith, we talking about, was this the part of the zoo in the 1900s? We're talking about in the Philippines, where a lot of people think the Philippines or the Filipinos came over here because they was looking. No, they were forced to come over here. But during that time in the 1900s, they was forced to be a attraction to the zoo. And they actually was the biggest attraction. They had all indigenous people. These are actually, when they tell you the name, the ALOTs, those are actually the indigenous people of that mountain. So they went to find all indigenous people to bring them there. And then to use the Darwin theory, one of the professors in London was to use the Darwin theory to then say that they were either close to the orangutan or the monkey, or they were saying that whites were more superior. And then it went down from there. That's what they said. So salute the people coming in here. I'm going to run this back, y'all. Hit that like button. I appreciate y'all coming in here. And you see the title, When Filipinos Were Treated Like Animals.
Now, a human zoo is exactly what it sounds like. A public display of humans within an enclosed fence or cage, similar to how animals are exhibited in zoos today. In 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair in Missouri presented such an exhibit, showcasing thousands of indigenous people around the world, from African pygmies to the Ainu people of Japan. But by far, the largest and most popular exhibit in the fair was the Philippine Exposition, which took up a 47-acre area in the zoo and housed the 1,200 Filipino captives. Most of them were Igorots, indigenous Filipinos that live in the mountains of northern Luzon. But there were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair.
So y'all see that right there. Y'all see that? 40 different, 6 Filipino villages, 70,000 exhibits, 130 buildings, 725 native soldiers. Second only in the World Fair itself. Shit crazy, man, how they exploited them. They had them captive. So they had over 1,200 of them living at a fair.
There were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And together, the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair, second only to the fair itself, and considered even better than a trip to the Philippines at that time. The enclosure of the Igorots was such a huge attraction of the fair that it surpassed the revenue of all the other exhibits that were featured in the human zoo combined, as the Igorots' striking appearance and customs captured the imagination of the fair's audience. They gawked, laughed, and even threw objects at the natives, who were marketed as head-hunting, dog-eating savages. And although there was some truth in that assertion, the way that the fair presented the customs of the Igorots was largely sensationalized and misrepresented. While they were there, the native Filipinos were forced to kill and eat dogs every single day for 7 months straight.
Man, that's crazy. Listen to that, y'all. They were forced to eat dogs for 7 months straight. Even though it was, and he's going to finish, it was considered a tradition or a rarity, but 7 months straight every day? Like, come on, bruh. 7 months straight every day? Eating dogs just for the fair to put on a show?
When usually, this was only done in their culture for rare and ceremonial occasions. Other sacred rituals, such as chief crowning and weddings between people who had no intention of getting married, were also orchestrated daily, simply for the
That's crazy. So switching up chiefs, one like, oh man, I bet you that just threw they just really I bet you they was miserable, man. They had to be miserable. That's wrong, man. In a damn game, you got them literally in the middle of smack dab in the middle of the city, and then built something, made them disrespect their culture. Facts. Salute, Mac. Glad you on here.
Salute. Plug, you already know what's happening, player.
Not much, man. Sitting here talking about the Philippines. People think that a lot of the Filipinos back in those days that they wanted to come here. They had their own life, own culture. They choose not. Yeah, they choose not to come, but they were forced during that time to come to be part of that 1904 Human Zoo Fair that they had in St. Louis back in the day. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. So I'm breaking it down. Salute to Mac coming in here. Since Mac up in here.
My aunt was actually in the Air Force, and she did a tour over there in the Philippines. So I know how it is, man. Those people are actually black. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah, well, they're indigenous as well in their own culture. They're right. You know, you got dark people. That's why I said you got to remember the melanin is the deciphering factor. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Kennedy. We got Kennedy in 129 people in the building. Hit that like button, y'all. Kennedy, you in the building?
Hey, I told people that other races, you've always heard me, I always say this, other races enslave they people.
Right. Yeah. And that's usually what happens through history when you see it. But it's just unfortunate that you talking about 1,200 people inside of a damn fence, a steel fence.
Dog, that shit was normal to them. 1,200 is light.
No, I'm saying at St. Louis. I'm saying in St. Louis at the fair.
It doesn't matter where it was. That's light to them.
Well, I know that, but this is dialogue, Kennedy.
Okay, well,
content.
Hey, you know what? My bad.
Yep,
can you run that back for me?
Yes, sir.
I'm just jumping in. Can I
sir.
I please grasp what I'm about to say before I say something wrong and out of context?
Already. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yep.
See how I do that?
Yeah, I like that. Y'all hit that like button.
Before I say something wrong and out of context, can I get a replay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all hit that like button.
Hey, thank you for doing that, because I was just getting in, and then I just want to grasp what actually you played so I can be on the same page with everybody that's listening and look.
Real talk already.
Okay.
Now, a human zoo is exactly what it sounds like. A public display of humans within an enclosed fence or cage, similar to how animals are exhibited in zoos today. In 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair in Missouri presented such an exhibit, showcasing thousands of indigenous people around the world, from African pygmies to the Ainu people of Japan. But by far, the largest and most popular exhibit in the fair was the Philippine Exposition, which took up a 47-acre area in the zoo and housed the 1,200 Filipino captives. Most of them were Igorots, indigenous Filipinos that live in the mountains of northern Luzon. But there were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And together, the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair, second only to the fair itself, and considered even better than a trip to the Philippines at that time. The enclosure of the Igorots was such a huge attraction of the fair that it surpassed the revenue of all the other exhibits that were featured in the Human Zoo combined, as the Igorots' striking appearance and customs captured the imagination of the fair's audience. They gawked, laughed, and even threw objects at the natives, who were marketed as head-hunting, dog-eating savages. And although there was some truth in that assertion, the way that the fair presented the customs of the Igorots was largely sensationalized and misrepresented. While they were there, the native Filipinos were forced to kill and eat dogs every single day for 7 months straight, when usually this was only done in their culture for rare and ceremonial occasions. Other sacred rituals, such as chief crowning and weddings between people who had no intention of getting married, were also orchestrated daily, simply for the entertainment and delight of the audience. All these things, combined with terrible living conditions, foreign diseases, and the deaths of the less fortunate captives, caused great mental and emotional suffering for the victims of the human zoo. And even after the World's Fair ended, the Igorots continued to be showcased in other fairs and carnivals throughout America and beyond. The main motivation for this dark episode in our history is, of course, racism. The offensive notion that us humans are divided into races that distinguish us as inferior or superior to each other. The organizers of the zoo wanted to propagate this belief that the indigenous people they were showcasing were lower stages of the human race, and that the Igorots were the lowest on the evolutionary scale. Political motivations also contributed in pushing for these racist ideologies. Because the Philippines was a newly acquired territory of America, the US government wanted to present Filipinos as savage and barbaric to American citizens in order to gain support for subjugating and governing the island country. It wasn't until 1914 that human zoos showcasing Filipinos were finally banned in the United States after countless protests against them.
There you go.
Hey,
Salute,
Cross.
Shay.
Hey,
Yes,
Cross,
sir.
can I say something? What's the common
Yes, sir.
denominator?
We know. Yeah, them peoples.
Them Europeans.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
But dog, when I say that to people, they think I be lying. I said every race enslaved their own people.
Yep.
And they sold their own people.
Yep.
Am
Well,
I
look
lying?
at
Too.
no.
They're
Well,
the
look
only
at
ones
what.
Neanderthal DNA.
Well, look at it like, and I see where Kennedy going with this is not even in every culture. Even think about it in the European culture, they have also enslaved their people too.
Yes, they
If
did
they was all
too.
right, because if
Yeah,
they all
facts.
wanted to, because if they all wanted to win, they could, right? If everybody got
Remember?
go ahead.
The Irish were white niggas. That's
Yeah,
what they said.
Yeah,
what
the
they call it.
Irish, we all was niggas.
Yep.
Everybody enslaved their own race. Every race turned on themselves.
Yeah, for that dollar. For that
Yeah,
dollar and that shiny thing.
for that dollar, dog. And
Yeah.
that proves it. Why are they over here? How did they get over here if they didn't submit to the Europeans in order to get them over?
You're absolutely right, because the story is what they did was they told them, like on a lot of those indigenous people that they took from the Africans, from everybody, they told them it was a better life over here and we'll pay y'all. Just like when I tell everybody about Sarah Bartman, it was the same thing with her. They told her, oh, your beauty is this. And then they turned around and put a leash on her and had her stand in front of people in freak shows. But then when she started getting it, and then when she turned, listen, but when she turned around and said, I didn't want to do it, like I'll give y'all an example. Just like when they passed that, where you couldn't do people like that, the human zoos, with her, she went to court. When she went to court, she had the option at the time to say she didn't want to do it or she did. They said because the fact they told her, what you gonna do? Go back and you're gonna be somebody's maid. And she took the other option, which was the bad option, and she ended up being pimped out to the end, and then she ended up dying being a prostitute, penniless, dog. That shit crazy, sad.
And that's what happens when this is gonna sound, I don't know if this is gonna make sense to you. That's what happened when women take their kids to family court. They giving them back to master. They telling you what to do with your kid.
That's a fact.
And I keep telling, I said, stop being in your feelings and understand what you're doing. They're telling you what to do with your kids. What is that?
Yeah, that's a form of slavery. You're
It's slavery.
Right. Well, think about it. When we talked about it, we did the other day about how people don't realize really it's slavery in itself. You're an indentured servant when you go to your job. Indentured means contractual. Servant means to serve that actual employee.
You're a contractual worker.
That's right. That's right.
And you still have to get paid from them. You're not getting paid from yourself.
That's right.
That's what an indentured servant is.
That's right.
You're contracting through them, but you're still not getting paid for yourself.
That's right. And somebody who's been enslaved means you don't get nothing. You owe, I own you.
And then if you a slave as an indentured servant, like you said, you still owe them. So you got to give them your kid back.
You got to give them the get back. You don't get nothing for free. That's what people don't understand.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I'm with
when
you.
I say that, Cross, they think I'm crazy.
No, because you saying once you give something away, ain't nothing for free. Because you might think you doing, or either the women or whomever it might be, think they doing the right thing. But anytime that you sign an agreement like the peace treaty, when they did the Indian treaty, when they signed that, they had to give up something. So when we read it the other day, what the doctrine of the treaty states, it also states that money that we give y'all when y'all turn 18 and 21, y'all have agreed to give us the rights to the land. So
Yeah,
they
and they
still
don't, like, people don't understand that. Once you get a certain age, they get that back.
they get it back. Yeah, because they own the land. After a while, what they
So
do,
can you please tell these people I'm not lying about that?
no, it's just, you know what? It's the way I can understand you, because I know that where you come from, it's the way you lay it out. A lot of people, because you come straight forward with it, but they don't understand at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're dropping, you're saying it's up to you. You just saying, this is where I feel. And if you really want to know, you either going to ask me and I explain it, or you got to ask, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if somebody were to ask you, they have to understand you're giving them a general statement, but there's layers to your state. Like earlier today, once I
Yeah,
kept
it's
listening to you say
layers
it,
to it.
it's layers to it. No, you're right. It's
Because
like,
it's
but,
not my fault that I'm educated on what I'm saying to you.
well, it ain't even that. It's the fact that you don't really, you're not you looking
I'm
at it like,
thinking everybody's supposed to know this.
there you go. That's what I was just about to
That's
say.
my problem. I
Yep.
think that everybody's supposed to know this.
Nope. And that's why it's our job while we're on the panel, we have a voice, is to educate them and get them a little game. You know what I'm saying? And not give it not feed them fully, because then they won't go look. But we give them enough to throw the bone out there, like my dad and granddad and them say, they throw the bone out there just to eat the grizzle. I ain't gonna give you the
Hey,
meat.
look,
Yeah, I'll
look.
give you the grizzle though.
Hey, Cross, I can say as simple as this. If any woman got their child and family in any court, it belongs to the state. The child's last name is what state you in. You gave it back to master. You could have handled that in-house. That's all
Real
I'm
talk.
saying. You
Nah,
could
that's
have
real.
handled that in-house, but you
So
gave it back to master. The same way you think you getting back at that man can get back at you. But at the end of the day, master decides what happens with your kid.
yeah, the end of decision. So Mac, what do you
So
think on
that
that? I want to hear.
means she's the house bitch. Oh
Whoa,
damn,
whoa,
my
whoa,
bad.
whoa. That's what I was going to say. Let me
Yeah,
ask
my
Mac.
bad.
Yep, you
My
good.
bad, my
So
bad.
Mac, what do you think? And I know that you said your peoples went over there, and we all know that again. And I'm gonna do something on that on the history of none, because I just want to touch on all cultures so people have awareness of how people are, where they came from. Just, and it ain't about just no black things, about everybody thing, right? Because we talk about all that. So my question to you is, what do you think about that? How they brought them over? And Kenneth hit it on the head. How can you get 1,200 people at one time to do that? But we know that they put the trinkets or whatever. They sold them a false dream. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy to me. What do you think about it?
Hey, but you know what? It all
Yeah.
goes back to my theory of dropping the sugar cube in the ant pile.
Break that down for me.
Cause if you drop a sugar cube in the ant pile, you get everything. Get everybody.
At one
That's
time.
why they getting everybody. You don't have to work hard when you work smarter.
That's a fact.
Drop a sugar cube in the ant pile and see how that works.
Matter of fact, you're right, because they'll break up their whole train of thought and what they're supposed to be doing just to get to that. And they'll fight
Exactly.
over it. And we'll fight over it.
That's what they did to every community. Even white people
like
did
that.
it. White people did it to themselves.
So do you think, so I got a good question to ask you, since based off of that, do you think that they end up creating their own monster and they wasn't expecting for it to turn out the way with them, or do you think that it was all designed for them at the end of the day is to still have
No,
that separation?
I think that they didn't understand what they were doing. And they
Mm,
created their own monster and they started incest in order to create their own
that's a
bloodline.
fact. That's a fact.
And they consider their bloodline the holy grail. You know that, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's why they only deal with people with their own bloodline. So that means they're doing incest.
Facts. No, you own some. Don't hey, I'm always with you on that. And I think you're absolutely right. And I think my thing was, which was so messed up, dog. I think that they were trying to, when you bring 1,200 people and put them in there and you tell them to live like, it's sad to how can you tell some people where they from to tell other people this is the best
But
show. This,
but
I know, but listen, but this the best show and it's better than even being over there. But then they explained at the end that the United States was trying to take over. So they was making them look like they were
but look,
savages, like they did.
hey, look, it goes back to when I talked about Jim Jones. Why would they follow him all the way to Ghana to die?
Salute is honey.
You get me?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. That never made sense to me, even
Yeah,
when
that
I
never,
was
I ain't
little.
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was the same thing. I was like, and then listen, sold all their stuff and gave it
And
all to
gave
them.
everything to the white man and their kids and their life. I never could understand that.
Nah, that's deep. Nah, it's deep. We gonna have to do that one
Cause
time, man.
this
Yo,
this
what
this
weren't
goes
they
with
moving
what
away
you
from the
just
war,
showed,
trying to
dog.
escape the war or something like that?
Mac,
Did
where
Jim
you
Jones
been,
say?
Mac? We was trying to call on you, Mac.
Yeah, I was
No, no,
about to call Mac to see if he was even up.
you know what I'm saying, from work, but yeah,
Oh, you at work. Okay, salute to Mac, man. Mac
Hey
getting it in.
Mac, hey, chime back in real quick. Oh, like a real quick synopsis. I used a big word.
yeah.
So
Hey
what is
Mac,
yes? So, go ahead.
and
Go
now
ahead.
put Mac on what we were talking about, plug.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. So Mac, so
No, I was
and yo,
listening in. I was hearing what y'all was saying. You know, I was
okay.
just saying about
So
the whole
so
Jim
so
Jones thing.
okay. What I was going to say is okay. I'm gonna allow you to piggyback off of Kennedy. Now go ahead. But what Kennedy said. Now I'll let you piggyback. Go ahead.
I was saying, wasn't Jim Jones the whole thing with Jim Jones? The people that they didn't want to be a part of the government, and was like for the war there in Vietnam. They didn't want to
No,
be a
it
part of that
was
draft. So
just a religious thing.
Mm,
Religion. It was
so it had
religion.
some politics to do with it too.
And
But yeah, I
religion
feel what
and
you're saying.
politics is the same thing because
yep.
every
That come
time
on.
they
That's boy. You just went deep. You just went deep.
You're
But
right.
I
You're
always
right.
tell
religion
people
and
say it again.
religion and politics is the same thing because every time they
Salute,
trying to
Queen
get
Lady.
elected. Salute, Queen. Hey, but religion and politics is the same thing. When they trying to run for office, they always go
I
to
feel
mega churches.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You preaching. Nah, you
They
giving game
always
on them.
go to mega churches.
But you know what
Mega
the irony,
churches
you know what the
run the
irony,
government.
but you know what, Kennedy, the irony is what they always say. You're supposed to separate church from state. But we know that's a
I've
fart.
always said that. And
That's a
then
fart.
you know what? I did not get mad at that white woman in Houston that said, take that Bible away from this courthouse. And they took it down. You can look that up. She said, because y'all not separating religion from state.
Mm,
You can look this up. This happened like about 2004 or something like that. They
right.
took the Bible away from in front of the courthouse in Houston.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can look that up. And you know what else they're doing? And I saw it on the news and I recorded it. No transgender can sit up in a spot and purvey themselves as something they not.
Mm. So they done flipped it back on them.
Yeah, I recorded. I don't know how they actually, but in Houston, when the transgenders came in full drag trying to read to them a couple of years ago,
Oh, I
they
remember that
said,
in the school. Yeah, at that school, I remember that.
no, not just at the school, at the public library down here. And they cut that short. They cut
I
it
didn't know
short.
that.
Like,
I didn't know that. That's
nah,
interesting.
you're not finna sit up here. You're a grown ass man. You're not finna sit up here and read to these kids.
That's right.
Because you're attacking their mind.
You're attacking it. They're not even thinking about the story. They're all looking at what, trying to deceive.
Yeah, what you look like.
Yep. What are you? You know what I'm saying?
Dog,
And then,
Houston, that's one thing I have to say about Houston. They shut that down quick.
that's interesting.
And
I'm gonna have
then
to do one on that.
I was the first person to shut down the Mr. Potato Head dog. Nobody knew about it. I was sitting up early in the morning, smoking my regular blunt like I do. It was about, at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock Houston News. I always record that at 4 in the morning.
Right.
Because you catch the right. They tried to.
That's funny you say that, because I get a lot of my recordings and I catch a lot of my news at 2 or 3. There's a lot of
And
stuff
you
they put out.
notice they change up the story throughout the day.
That's a fact.
I catch them right when they doing it. This is what they did. This is a fact. Star from Star and Buckwell, I can tell you, I'm the only one put people on it. I have the text to Fox 26 News Houston. I said, y'all need to take that down. I made them take down the Huggies commercial.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff, man. It's so inappropriate. And like you say, why would you want to be but you think about it, it's a lot of them weird ones out there.
They tried to do a whole owl in purple and white. They had it already lined up for the Mr. Potato Head, the transgender and dolls and all that. In Target, they were gonna have the whole owl white and purple.
Wow.
I shut that down myself.
Well, I didn't even know that. So they was hold on, Kennedy. So you telling me that the whole time that they was
it was already packaged up on the news. They took the broadcast down. I'm not lying.
That's crazy.
And then on top of that,
I believe.
Dog, and then on top of that, I shut down the Huggies commercial. I said when they were sliding that child pamper up too much, I said that was child porn. I did that. I did both of those.
I could never understand that anyway. Why would you show a child close up, then you pulling up that was too much.
They're doing it slow. Dog, I am not playing. I am not BSing. I'm being nice.
Yeah. No,
personally, nobody knew about the Mr. Potato Head thing in the rollout with Target, where they were going to have a whole owl of that until I told them.
That's crazy.
They had it already rolled out. It was a gay dude on Fox 26 Houston, and they already had it packaged up.
Had the ambiance, had the whole.
No, look, this is
what I'm saying is they had the reporter. Everything was ready. It was going ready for the media and everything.
Even they knew it was wrong. And then the box was white with purple around glitter, and there was a Mr. Potato Head in it. It wasn't that.
Wow.
Dog, I promise to God, I'm going to scroll down my inbox on Facebook to where I did that. Nobody knew about that until I told them.
Yeah, you should shoot that to me.
Dog, I'm telling you. And they took it. And then, dog, when that was going down, I was going in on them in the inbox, and they clipped it real quick.
So
They
salute,
had
we got
a
100.
whole owl planned for target. It was a whole rollout.
That's crazy. So we got 129 people in here. Hit that like button. We're gonna run this video back. Appreciate Kennedy and Matt coming on. We doing some great
Man, I
building.
appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all, everybody listening, man. And I love all y'all. We are not lying to y'all when we talking.
Nope.
We give our opinion on things we see, but we're not lying to y'all.
Nah.
That's the best way I can explain it.
I like that. That's old. That's an OG call right there. Like you said, ain't got, like the old saying is, we ain't got a lie to kick it. You ain't got a lie to kick it. Yeah, I'm with you. Y'all, 130, hit that like button. We running this back. This is about, again, the recap for everybody to know that's coming in here about what was this part of the zoo in the 1900s? Yes, it was. This was the Philippines that they went over there and took the Filipinos. It was over 1,200 indigenous people and other tribes that was there. It was considered the biggest attraction in St. Louis at the fair. Again, like I said, the 1904 St. Louis Fair. Y'all can go and check that out and look at the history. It's really
and they
sad.
act like niggas was the only anything that was from anywhere. They used them.
Right.
Barnum and Bailey Circus. That's why I don't like that Black Soul Circus shit.
Oh yeah,
my bad.
Yeah. Let me play this. 184 in the building now. Y'all hit that like button. Here we go.
Now, a human zoo is exactly what it sounds like. A public display of humans within an enclosed fence or cage, similar to how animals are exhibited in zoos today. In 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair in Missouri presented such an exhibit, showcasing thousands of indigenous people around the world, from African pygmies to the Ainu people of Japan. But by far, the largest and most popular exhibit in the fair was the Philippine Exposition, which took up a 47-acre area in the zoo and housed the 1,200 Filipino captives. Most of them were Igorots, indigenous Filipinos that live in the mountains of northern Luzon. But there were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And together, the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair, second only to the fair itself, and considered even better than a trip to the Philippines at that time. The enclosure of the Igorots was such a huge attraction of the fair that it surpassed the revenue of all the other exhibits featured in the human zoo combined, as Igorot's striking appearance and customs captured the imagination of the fair's audience. They gawked, laughed, and even threw objects at the natives, who were marketed as headhunting, dog-eating. And although there was some truth in that assertion, the way that the fair presented the customs of the Igorots was largely sensationalized and misrepresented. While they were there, the native Filipinos were forced to kill and eat dogs every single day for 7 months straight, when usually this was only done in their culture for rare and ceremonial occasions. Other sacred rituals, such as chief crowning and weddings between people who had no intention of getting married, were also orchestrated daily, simply for the entertainment and delight of the audience. All these things, combined with terrible living conditions, foreign diseases, and the deaths of the less fortunate captives, caused great mental and emotional suffering for the victims of the human zoo. And even after the World's Fair ended, the Igorots continued to be showcased in other fairs and carnivals throughout America and beyond. The main motivation for this dark episode in our history is, of course, racism, the offensive notion that us humans are divided into races that distinguish us as inferior or superior to each other. The organizers of the zoo wanted to propagate this belief that the indigenous people they were showcasing were lower stages of the human race, and that the Igorots were the lowest on the evolutionary scale. Political motivations also contributed in pushing for these racist ideologies. Because the Philippines was a newly acquired territory of America, the US government wanted to present Filipinos as savage and barbaric to American citizens in order to gain support for subjugating and governing the island country. It wasn't until 1914 that human zoos showcasing Filipinos were finally banned in the United States after countless protests against them.
So yeah, there y'all go. like I said, man, it's really sad. Like you said, they make it seem like we was the only ones, but they end up taking them people exactly, kidnap, whatever they did with them people. We don't know, but they know they went. I didn't see
Dog,
them.
hey, dog, I know what they did to them. They did them worse than they did us.
Yeah, there you go.
Because,
That's crazy, ain't it?
dog, think about it. When you look at they raped us in front of the women
Right.
to make
Yep.
us
Fuck
seem
rape.
like we cannot, yeah, like we cannot protect them. That's why I'm so hard on when I go into court fighting for my kids. You're not breaking me, Mark.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I ain't cuss. See?
You good.
No,
Yeah, that's what
but they not gonna break me in court.
that's right.
I break them.
Well, and that's how they always been doing. Think about it, like you said, they did them worse than them. They really humiliated them. They changed. Think about it. Think about it. If you the chief of your tribe, they switch them, telling them the next day, we need y'all to do that again.
Hey, notice they did that in every Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
They wasn't just talking about niggas.
Nah.
They talking about everybody. But this is the thing. You never seen a slavery movie on white people.
Right. And they were. There were a lot.
And white people enslaved themselves too.
Yeah.
But you never seen a movie on it.
Well, I tell everybody, you got to remember, and I tell everybody on here a lot of time, they always say history is doomed to repeat itself, and they're absolutely right. But it's not history; it's his story.
Yeah,
When you
it's
can tell,
what
it's
he
his.
said.
That's right. That's why history or his story is always doomed to repeat itself. That's why we got to stop. That's why I won't do just like when it's coming up with this Black history. I put all these other people out here for people to be able to read up on it, because a lot of them don't know this stuff. Like you said, they always make it seem like over here, because at that 1900s in Atlanta, I did the one where there's the first Black millionaire. So there's a lot of Black folks that was out there during that time too, that had money. The problem is this right here. I think this was some old, that's they thing. I mean, you talking about a bunch of men got together and said they're gonna make a fair, but then the human zoo was the biggest attraction. That's crazy.
Dog, and that's why you see these buck broken niggas like Shaq, Shannon Sharp. Don't think that Shannon Sharp is not working with Skip Bayless. They
Oh, without
both
a doubt,
don't.
you could tell. Yeah, you could tell the way that worked. That was orchestrated to me. That was more or less
Yeah,
like
dog,
it,
and people that don't understand it don't see it. It don't take a rocket science to see that they working together.
yeah, because at any given time, we all know that if something like that happened, I mean, and you telling me everybody telling you you need to go do your own thing, and then you still right back later the next day up there with him. I couldn't do it, and he basically. But you got to remember from a business point of view, and I look at this, and you know that by us being on this YouTube, when you look at views and you start getting to look at views, you start noticing a lot of these news stations and stuff. They don't
And
get no
then you
news.
can tell when these niggas are buck broken.
Yeah,
Look at
that's right.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, they changed his mind. They rearranged his mind.
But Michael Vick did some sick shit though.
Yeah.
I would never do
Oh, well,
that.
we got to tone. We don't.
Oh,
You
damn.
good?
Oh, Michael Vick did some sick stuff
Yeah.
to them animals, and I would never do that, even though I don't like animals in my house like that
Right.
because of the smell. That don't mean I don't care for animals. I save
Fact.
a lot of animals.
Mm.
And I've had them here and I've babysat animals, but I just don't like that ammonia smell. You know what I'm talking
Right.
about?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know
You
how
said one. Yeah. Once you pee up in my house, you can't be staying up in my house.
yeah,
You pee on my floor, you can't stay up in
yeah.
my house.
Dog,
Nah, that's real.
it's like when somebody smoke a cigarette in your house. If you don't smoke, you can always smell it. You get
Yep,
me?
that's a fact. Yeah. Don't forget. Yeah, he said Shaq and Charles Barkley. Yeah,
Oh,
especially,
Charles Barkley, do
especially
not get
Chuck.
me started with him.
Yeah, especially Chuck.
Hey,
Boy, Chuck
let's go
something else.
down the line of black niggas that been buck broken.
Nah.
Shannon
We can't
Sharp.
do that. We can't do. Yeah, you can't do that on here. Nah, you can't do that.
Oh, Shannon
Yeah,
Sharp.
yeah, but we can't start that. You can't start doing that. You can't do that on
Dog, but
here.
these are, I'm talking about the ones that's in their face.
I know that, but I'm saying you can't equate somebody. We have
Okay,
to.
okay.
Yeah, you can't do
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah, you
Well,
basically. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna follow your lead. I'm gonna
Yep,
follow
yep.
your lead.
Salute Smoke Lot, man. We just sitting here, man. We talking about Smoke. We got Kennedy on here building, giving great game, and we just talking about stuff that happened in the 1900s. I know you Smoke. You be checking
And
that stuff.
then, like, where did they find them at?
They found them in the mountains. There was indigenous people. That's why they call the Igorots. That's if you go and Google that. That's
Hey,
actually the indigenous people that's up in the mountains
do
around there
you
by the
know
Philippines.
it's white people that are Vikings that don't
Salute,
like
King.
Americans?
Yeah.
Icelandic people don't like American white people.
Right.
Do you know that?
I know. Yeah, I do know that. I do know that.
They
That's
despise them. White people, and then to prove that I'm not lying, white people that like other people other than white in America, they hate other white people. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it
just
out
giving.
there.
So yeah, salute to everybody coming. King, I know you just stepped in the building. Salute to my man King. Y'all go check him out. We got Smoke a lot in the building. The BTB
Already
TV
King of New
family.
Jersey. He
That's
bully
right.
the bullies, man.
All day. So King, we just
Salute,
talking
King.
about
Salute.
the 1900s and the 1904 St. Louis fair, where a lot of times where they talked about the blacks and the pygmies and stuff, but actually one of the biggest attraction there was from the Philippines, the Filipinos, where they took them in, and then they end up really just changing and degrading them as a whole. So I'm gonna play this back for King and people coming in. Y'all hit that like button before we get ready to get out of here. I got practice today, so salute to everybody coming in
Hey,
here.
dog, I was gonna get out on the field, but I pointed and I hurt my arm, so I can't get out.
All right.
Dog, I can't get out there.
Let me go. I'm gonna go ahead and play it so I can get ready to get out of here.
I bet. My bad.
Now, a human zoo is exactly what it sounds like. A public display of humans within an enclosed fence or cage, similar to how animals are exhibited in zoos today. In 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair in Missouri presented such an exhibit, showcasing thousands of indigenous people around the world, from African pygmies to the Ainu people of Japan. But by far, the largest and most popular exhibit in the fair was the Philippine Exposition, which took up a 47-acre area in the zoo and housed the 1,200 Filipino captives. Most of them were Igorots, indigenous Filipinos that live in the mountains of northern Luzon. But there were also a handful of Filipinos from other indigenous groups as well. And together, the Philippine exhibit was the overshadowing feature of the World's Fair, second only to the fair itself, and considered even better than a trip to the Philippines at that time. The enclosure of the Igorots was such a huge attraction of the fair that it surpassed the revenue of all the other exhibits that were featured in the human zoo combined, as the Igorots' striking appearance and customs captured the imagination of the fair's audience. They gawked, laughed, and even threw objects at the natives, who were marketed as head-hunting, dog-eating savages. And although there was some truth in that assertion, the way that the fair presented the customs of the Igorots was largely sensationalized and misrepresented.
Y'all hit that like button, share.
While they were there, the native Filipinos were forced to kill and eat dogs every single day for 7 months straight, when usually this was only done in their culture for rare and ceremonial occasions. Other sacred rituals, such as chief crowning and weddings between people who had no intention of getting married, were also orchestrated daily, simply for the entertainment and delight of the audience. All these things, combined with terrible living conditions, foreign diseases, and the deaths of the less fortunate captives, caused great mental and emotional suffering for the victims of the human zoo. And even after the World's Fair ended, the Igorots continued to be showcased in other fairs and carnivals throughout America and beyond. The main motivation for this dark episode in our history is, of course, racism. The offensive notion that us humans are divided into races that distinguish us as inferior or superior to each other. The organizers of the zoo wanted to propagate this belief that the indigenous people they were showcasing were lower stages of the human race, and that the Igorots were the lowest on the evolutionary scale. Political motivations also contributed in pushing for these racist ideologies. Because the Philippines was a newly acquired territory of America, the US government wanted to present Filipinos as savage and barbaric to American citizens in order to gain support for subjugating and governing the island country. It wasn't until 1914 that human zoos showcasing Filipinos were finally banned in the United States after countless protests against them.
So yeah, so there y'all have it. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to bring some awareness.
Can I say something? Can I
Yes,
say
sir.
something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Notice the fact that they was saying they actually ate dog.
Yes.
Like that shit normal. Oh damn, I ain't mean to say.
Right.
It's like we eat cows and chickens.
Right.
And what have I always said? You ain't never seen no stray pet around certain restaurants.
Think about
Right.
Am I lying about that? You notice I've always said that. You never seen no stray pet around certain restaurants.
Right.
The pets even know. You don't even see a crow hanging out on the power lines around them.
You don't even see the crow hanging out.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Eat everything.
Nah, you right.
Dog, we can go all day with this, dog. We got
no, because we can't go all day.
We gotta have King up here.
Salute, man. Peace. Yeah, I seen the I heard about that before. I heard about the economics a long time ago, and but you know, the most indigenous people are dark complected, so they're gonna treat us all like carnival features and shit.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to bring awareness, because a lot of people don't know. They just look at it like, man, now because of that carnival and stuff. That's really, like I said, when you think about it, these are the 1,200 people they said was forced and enslaved, and the conditions they went through, and how they had to make them do that for 7 months, and then put them, that shit is just inhumane all around. But I'm just bringing awareness.
They also did to the indigenous people of Australia.
Yeah, they went around. You got to remember when Darwin Theory came, they had Sarah Bartman. They had, she was the first black woman where they showed where she had the big buttocks and the breasts. She was, damn, where was she from? I don't know, but they call her the Hati and Tot Venus. She was called Black Venus back then. It's a lot of them that they did during that fair, but that's because they wanted to show how the size of the skulls and Darwin Theory but they said those people, the Igorots, was actually the lowest on the totem pole, which, like I said again, was sad because they mistreated them people. They took pictures, threw things at them, treat them like they was from the Congo. Yeah,
man.
Exactly. So I did 134 people in here. Yeah, I just wanted to bring awareness to them. I got ball practice here at 5:00, so I got to practice. Yeah, practice.
I just want to start to show y'all some love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate you, King. You already know anytime you bless the panel. Yeah, and Mac, anytime Mac bless the panel, Kenneth.
Hey, King, you already know. King already know, dog.
Yeah, King. Yeah,
King already know I'm a little nigga, but goddamn it, I do big shit.
You know how we get
Hey, watch it. You gotta watch it.
Oh, damn, I said, I every time I get around y'all, I be thinking I'm on the phone.
I know, we all do, man. Sometimes I have to forget. Sometimes I get into it and forget who I'm talking.
King, know I got so much love for him. It's just unbelievable.
That's real talk.
Bro. You know we do. We go back. We go back to the recent days.
So King, when you going live again? I might go back a little bit later.
Dog, I'm working on a lot of music right now with artists from Chicago, an artist from Cali, and then I'm finishing up everything with me. What I need right now is somebody that knows how to work Studio One, so I can mix and master it where I'm at. Cause I don't go to studios because you get killed at studios. So I've never been to studios. So I put my own studio wherever I'm at. You know what I'm talking about?
Real talk.
So
yeah, I talked to Christian. Christian know how to do it. I talked to Christian.
Yeah,
hey, call me later and then get him to call me.
All right, no problem, man.
Yeah, oh man, easy. You know that ain't nothing but love. You see how simple that work, people.
Yeah, real facts when you building with folks, man.
And then everything he asked me for ain't no problem. I'm like, man, all I need to do is get these couple of songs out and I'm good. And then you already know. Come on now, we'll talk off.
Yeah.
Real talk.
You give me. You already know.
It's a good topic though today, bro. It's a good topic.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna bring a little bit heat tonight, a little bit more heat for us to build on and stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody loving the content.
It's been a great topic.
Well, thank you. Yeah, man. Just trying to bring awareness, man. Something different. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of stuff that I read up on a lot. So it's just something I just try to certain things I just bring to the table.
Word.
No, it's been dog, and you do have a good craft.
Hold on, Kenneth. Hold on. Oh, thank you. Oh, Mac fell out. Oh, nigga, Mac.
I was about to tell King Sarnetta interview Wack 100.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, Keenan fell off on it. I thought he was gonna be on it to give us the end.
Nah.
Anyway, I gotta go too, man. Salute to y'all brothers.
Hey,
man.
You know what? I can give the last Bible scripture of the day. I can get a last Bible scripture of the day if you don't mind.
Go and do your thing, brother.
The golden rule: do unto others as you have them to do unto you.
Real spill.
That's all I can tell people.
Yep. Nah, you hit it on the head.
Dog, and man, I want to tell everybody from everywhere in the world that's listening, I love y'all. We're going to have controversial topics. You might not agree, you might agree, but the point is we all need to talk. Because if you don't talk, nobody knows.
Come on, man.
Because if you don't say, I don't agree with that, it's nothing wrong with disagreeing.
Nothing wrong with that. That's right.
And don't be scared to disagree. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is what I tell people all the time. Don't be scared to disagree. That don't mean somebody's going to attack you or be mad at you. This is not the channel where you get attacked for disagreeing.
No, not at all. You know that. Not at all.
And you know what? And I appreciate you and thank you for letting me be on your channel.
Real talk. I appreciate you, brother. I really do, man.
Love y'all and love everybody listening, man.
Already. Well, man, there you go, man. We had another great one, man. We had some kings on the panel. We had King stop by too. Man, we had everybody in the chat. Everybody, all from the mods. Thank you again. We got 131 in the building. Hit that like button before y'all leave. Again, I just wanted to bring y'all some awareness and also to let y'all know, man, history's out there, man. Go look for it, man. It's all around us, man. We got a lot of stuff. We got to at least know where we came from to know where we're going to, or at least have an idea of some type of blueprint and why people do what they do or why they've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So again, remember, history is doomed to repeat itself, dog. His story is doomed to repeat itself if you don't fix it. On that note, I appreciate y'all.
What it is, man. What you gotta say to these niggas? Real shit, real life, here we go. Hey, hey, I feel like Cross, I'm a motherfucking boss. I got the drip, and you know I got the sauce. I tell these fuck ass niggas get lost. Coming through your chimney like I'm goddamn Santa Claus. Hey, 2023, and you know I rock my chain. Nigga, boy, I'm grown, I ain't tryna play no games. Doing what we want, and we doing what we claim. It's crazy how they pussy niggas selling out for fame. Like, look at my neck, look at my worth, nigga. I'ma shine so hard, make it hurt, nigga. Been the way that I am since birth, nigga. Tabernacle in the stream with a church, nigga. I'm chosen, I'm chosen. I be in front of the camera posing. You see that choker on my neck and it's frozen. Hey, 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 yeah, I'm chosen. I am not stressed. I passed the test. Look at my name. Look at my team. You know we gon' win. You know we gon' win. Until the end. You know what I get. Stone C. Like my name is Smith. Niggas talking, but I know he ain't shit. Niggas talking, but I know he ain't shit. Run up on me, I'ma make you do flips. Do a bad flip. Niggas they cap like an actress. I don't fuck with niggas doing magic. Pull up on your mama and it's tragic. Damn. Woo, woo, hey, hey, woo, 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 hey, hey, yeah, 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 hey. You can buy a watch, but you can't buy time. Every day I wake up, I'm on my grind. All that bullshit ain't on my mind. Don't need your help, my nigga, I'm fine. I'm real, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Riding in my whip and I be changing lane. Got my OGs saying I be staying in they brain. Cause I'm going so dumb and I hopped in the game. Everything